Hello, good day. My name is Ashigab Daniel, and you are welcome to Analyzing Contemporary Issues with Ashigab. In any war, there are usually goals and objectives that the warring parties hope to achieve. Just like in the Russian-Ukraine war, the goals the Russians hope to achieve include control of the Donbass, regime change, as the Russians would prefer a government that is more sympathetic towards them, prevention of Ukraine from joining NATO, and so on and so forth. Also, in the war between America, Israel, and Iran, there are goals the warring parties hope to achieve. And in this video, we are going to analyze those various goals and who are the winners and losers of the war. Before we start analyzing the winners and losers of this war, there's a short video I would like you to watch in which the Americans actually announced that they've reached a 2-week ceasefire with the Iranians.
To come to a deal, or President Trump was going to start blowing up civilian infrastructure in that country, the president announced that he had accepted a proposal from Pakistan for a 2-week ceasefire. Also in this proposal, a reopening of the Strait of Hormuz, something that Iran has agreed to. President Trump saying that they had received a 10-point plan from Iran to end the war, and that they believed they could negotiate from that plan, and they needed the 2 weeks to put the finalizing touches on that negotiation. This would be for a more long-term deal. There are still questions as to what exactly is in that 10-point plan, but President Trump's acceptance of this proposal came after he had said earlier in the day that he was essentially going to end a civilization as a whole because he was planning on bombing the civilian infrastructure because there was still no deal. Now, there had been a lot of concern among Republicans who did not want President Trump to escalate the war this far. Now, of course, he has said that there is going to be a 2-week ceasefire while the two sides continue to.
For the Americans, in my opinion, this was a lost war because the goals they actually set to achieve at the start of the war, they've not been able to achieve them. And such goals include 1, regime change. They've not been able to achieve regime change in Iran. The only thing America was able to do was changing of the Ayatollah from Ali Khomeini, who was considered to be a moderate, in the sense that he passed 2 factors that prevented Iran from acquiring nuclear bomb, to his son, Mustafa Khomeini, who is considered by many as an hardliner and open to Iran acquiring nuclear bomb. 2, the capture or destruction of the enriched uranium. The Americans have not been able to lay their hands on those enriched uranium, as they are still somewhere hidden under the ground in the mountains in Iran. 3, the destruction of the missile program of Iran that the Americans have not been able to achieve. Considering the fact that CNN of recent came out with an article that states that Iran still possesses 50% of its missile launchers and one-way attack drone, you know that the Americans have not been able to destroy the missile program of Iran. 4, that Iran should give up support for its proxies, which includes Hezbollah in Lebanon, Hamas in Gaza, and the Houthis in Yemen. That we all know is not possible, considering the fact that in the 10-point peace plan the Iranians actually presented to America, one of the items called for the cessation of hostility against Hezbollah in Lebanon. Finally, considering the fact that America has actually watered down their objective to the opening of the Hormuz Strait, which was open at the start of the war, and the fact that the IRGC are still in control of Iran, you know that this war has been nothing but a failed project for America. For Israel, this war, in my opinion, has been so-so for them. Not so good, not so bad. Because their goal of having an American president that will back them in a war against Iran was granted to them by Donald Trump. Also, the goal of weakening Iran as a regional player was also achieved in the course of this war. However, other goals such as the Iranians giving up support for their proxies, which includes Hezbollah in Lebanon, which the Israelis are having a hard time battling with in southern Lebanon, Hamas in Gaza, and the Houthis in Yemen, destruction of the enriched uranium, which are buried somewhere in the mountains in Iran, and also the fact that in the course of this war, the Iranians were able to hit the Israeli hard with their missiles and drone system, destroying that air of invisibility the Israelis have in that region. you know that this war has been not so good and not so bad for Israel. For the Iranians, in my opinion, they won the war. One might ask, why do I say so? Because the only thing the Iranians needed to do in order for them to win the war was not to lose the war, hang on and not lose the war, which they've succeeded in doing. Finally, considering the 10-point peace plan that was presented by Iran to America, which includes cessation of hostility against Hezbollah, a permanent end to the war, cancellation of sanctions, Iran controlling their trade, Iran possessing the right to enrich uranium, and so on and so forth. There is no way America or Israel, who has proven over time to be agreement incapable, will accept those terms, considering the fact that Donald Trump actually pulled out of the JCPOA agreement of 2015, and the Israeli decided to start another war after the 12-day war of June last year, and also the fact that they've not been able to achieve their goals and objectives. One would discover that this ceasefire that is to start on Friday is nothing but a kabuki dance, an opportunity for this country to go back, rearm, refit, re-equip, and probably develop new strategy and start the war all over again. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. Please like, share, and subscribe. Drop a comment if I'm learning and I would like to learn from you. Thank you.